Welcome back, and thanks for joining. This week, I'm finally able to make a permanent repair on that pesky autopilot. After that, and well past due, I get in the water and start using it as my free grocery store. After being jealous of friends with one, I then spend time to make my very own conchorn. Finally, I raise the sails and head further south along the famous Exuma Island chain. So join me as I create my own adventures and live my dream. So I'm Amy, a Midwestern Kansan girl, and this is my boat, Maritopia. After moving to Florida in 2020, buying a $5,000 Facebook Marketplace worn-out 1973 Pearson sailboat, and spending 2 years endlessly working on her, I quit my job and have started my solo sailing adventures with the goal to truly immerse myself into as many different cultures as possible. I hope you're able to enjoy the videos as much as I do living the experiences. During hurricane season, I'll be installing a much stronger below-deck autopilot, but until then, it's very important that this wheel pilot is healthy. Raymarine warrantied this one. Trout brought me this replacement wheel pilot. Just got it from him yesterday, so I'm going to put the new autopilot on. Something I also ordered was another spare belt, so now I have 2 spare belts. So, what was wrong with this autopilot to begin with? Raymarine had a batch that they sent out with the wrong belt. From what I gather, in an attempt to make the belt a little more robust, they thickened it. Well, when they did that, it made it too tight, which put strain on the motor. And when I had the autopilot off, where I should have been able to freewheel, it was still turning the motor, and it would randomly slip on the gear on the motor and the teeth in the belt. So before I ship this back to Raymarine, I'm going to put the defective belt on it, because I put a good belt on here to make it work until I got the replacement. I want to keep my good belt. I want to send this back to Raymarine with the wrong belt. That way this belt will become a spare again. Alright, that one is ready to send back to Raymarine. The belt that I took off just now will become a spare. I bought another spare, so I have 2 spares. And in my bag of autopilot stuff, I also have a spare motor. Now it's ready to go on. It's as easy as that. sure it works. Yep, works good. When the autopilot is disengaged with this handle, it should turn freely like it does. I'm turning the rudder. Before, with the old belt, with the incorrect parts, even when this was disengaged, and I would turn this, it wouldn't freewheel. It was actually still turning the belt, which in turn tried to turn the motor. So we're all good. I'll get that other one boxed up, and when I'm in Georgetown, I'll mail it back to Raymarine. So Allen's Cay is too rolly with the swells, so we're gonna head over to Highborn, probably just motor over there, because the winds are coming from the south. We're coming into Highborn now. It's a gorgeous island, crazy beautiful beach that I'm sure we'll explore. Yeah. Unfortunately, my GoPro battery died right as I was getting back into the dinghy, so I don't have any footage of our catch. But I do have this sizzling beauty. The lobster that we got about an hour ago is now almost done. Boiled it. Now put some garlic butter and cilantro in the pan and searing both sides of it. So, fresh from the ocean, never frozen. I found this conch yesterday while Trout and I were spearfishing. And normally to get the snail out, you cut a hole right here, break a hole right there, and stick a knife up in there and cut it off of how it sucks to the inside of the shell. You'd cut that off and then you'd pull it out. Well, that leaves a hole there. So I wanted to save this so it didn't have that hole, so I can cut the tip off. I'll cut just that tip off, and I'm gonna make a horn with it. These make really cool blow horns. So I finally got the conch out, and they look like an alien. I was gonna make some ceviche, but Trout and I are gonna use this to fish with. So it's my first conch that I got out of the shell. So I set it above this bucket. That's salt water. I set it above that bucket out of the water so that it naturally wanted to go to the water. And when it came out, I just pulled it out of the shell. Hopefully I didn't cut that too big. That may actually be too big. Let's see though. I'm gonna knock some of that center core out. Now I'm gonna clean this up so that I don't, it's rather sharp right now. Just clean it up so where I don't cut myself on it when I put my mouth on it. So now, so that the lip doesn't continue to flake off, I'm just gonna cut the very edge of it off and then sand it. Now we'll try and clean up the shell a little bit with a wire wheel. Let's give it a try for the first time. Got it pretty cleaned up. I'm satisfied with that. What? Another phenomenal day in the Bahamas is coming to a close. We might actually get a green flash tonight. Oh, leaving Highbourne. Getting ready to head around the northern point of it. Gonna just make I think it's a 40 or 50 mile passage today to Staniel Cay. So, should be a great sail.
Wish that I could stay. Wish for this moment to never go away. But it's all in my mind, and though I know that there is nothing to find, you're a beautiful sight in the summer night. And you can't put up a fight in the misty light. See how you've grown while you roam in the streets all alone. All you can see, thinking about what your life came to be. You're a beautiful sight in the summer night, and you can't put up a fight in the misty light. Another day, like the mothers of Brazil find their way. We're all on our own, but you're the most beautiful I've ever known. You're a beautiful sight in the summer night, and you can't put up a fight in the misty light.
wind is right on our port beam. With full sails up and balanced, it was time to relax.
To see from the moment we arrived. Cornelia, you are one who will survive. When time's been bad, you put smiles on it.
What I'm doing here is called whipping. It's done so that the end of a line doesn't start fraying and coming apart over time.
And of all I should have done, you told me the thing would shape or form that you're in. The place you're from, the wealth or the color of your skin. And all you have burns to the sky. It's all too late. You wonder why. Cornelia, your every day is a struggle in the stride. But don't you agree? With beating hearts, we're still alive.
Best seat in the house right here. It's a super light wind day. The wind's right on the port beam, but it's only hovering around, I don't know, 8 to 12. So we're doing 4.5 knots, but that's okay. If I was in a hurry, I'd own a motorboat. We're coming into the Staniel K Inlet now. With the main already down and stowed, it's time to bring the head sail in. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't want to arrive at this inlet too early, as I would be going through the battling currents and tides. While it's not too bad at all here, I did in fact arrive before slack tide. And as you can see, the boat is rocking around pretty good. It's because the outgoing tide is going against the easterly currents. And the very moment I get inside, the waters are immediately dead calm. I pulled into the anchorage, went to the bow to mark the anchor, set the anchor, made some dinner, and went to sleep. I would be waking up before dawn, as I'd be heading further south in the morning. If you'd like to stay up to date and follow along with the adventures, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next week as I head further south on a fairly rough little passage, go through a somewhat treacherous inlet, finally meet up with the friends I mentioned last week, meet some new friends, give the pole spear some action, and see my first shark since being in the Bahamas.